Welcome back if you're rejoining us, and welcome if this is your first session. My name is Lawrence B. Hamilton. It is an honor to be here with all of you. And this next session is something that I'm excited about because it is all about the coins, okay? Money, finances. And this is something that a lot of women feel is an indicator of living their best life, of being happy, which I agree. You know, money doesn't buy happiness, but it gives you a little ease, right? So we need to learn how to manage it properly. And today's panelist is going to give us some tips. She's going to talk to us about her book, and her name is Vivian Tu. Now, she's a former Wall Street trader. She's a personal finance educator, public speaker, entrepreneur. She's a bestseller. I know that's right, girl. So we're gonna have her session, and she is going to give us all the tools, all of the strategies that we need to manage our money and careers. So give it up for Vivian.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Lauren was so lovely to give me such a warm welcome, but my name is Vivian Tu, otherwise known as your Rich BFF and favorite Wall Street girly. That is so embarrassing that I messed up my own tagline. But I am so excited to be here today. As Lauren mentioned, I recently wrote a New York Times best-selling book. It's called Rich AF, The Winning Money Mindset That'll Change Your Life. And one of the really important things that we talk about is goal setting. And that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. I want to say a quick thank you to my friends and partners at Marshall's. This is actually my fourth Marshall's event with them. And I'm really excited that we can all chat a little today about getting the good stuff out of your life, but also in stores and online. So today we are going to go over a couple key points of how to goal set and goal set wisely. So the whole point of goal setting is to actually build a financial future that all of us love. We're not here to just survive, we are here to thrive, right? And I want to know, who here wants to be rich AF? That's right, every hand in the room went up very quickly. I love that, and we need to have the tools in our arsenal to be able to do that. So this is going to bring anybody from any financial background. I don't care how you grew up, what kind of situation you were born into, how you feel like your money situation is now. We are going to help improve it. And why is this important? Because if you do not actually verbalize and visualize your goals, they do not happen. Did you guys know that you are 42% more likely to achieve your goal if you write it down? And I don't mean to sound woo-woo, because sometimes I'm like, yes, I'm going to, build this magical life that I think of. No. We are doing this the Your Rich BFF way today, and I am very practical. I'm a realist, and we are going to learn how to goal set. But before we get into that, what is my advice when it comes to goal setting? I want everybody in here to set very unrealistic goals with a realistic roadmap, okay? Unrealistic goals, realistic roadmap. And this is because we all need to do something called climb Cringe Mountain. And Cringe Mountain is a very dark place. Hold on, I have to use my hands for visual cue. Okay, this is Cringe Mountain, and we all live here. We are all villagers at the base of Cringe Mountain. Okay, and when you're a regular schmegular person doing your regular schmegular thing, you're just a regular villager. But when you want to elevate your life, you want to say, hey, I have a big savings goal. I want a promotion at work. I want to achieve this new thing with my small business. You have to climb Cringe Mountain. And that's embarrassing, because when you are saving up for that down payment on a home or a car, you might have to say no to certain really fun events that your friends are all going to. And when you are putting your nose to the grindstone with your small business, you're probably not going to be able to take as many vacations. And when you're asking for that promotion, somebody, Steve from accounting, is going to tell you you're a brown noser. But you know what? You're gonna climb Cringe Mountain, and every villager in the bottom is gonna point up at you and laugh. But when you finally get to the peak of Cringe Mountain, you are going to see your success, that goal you had, all the things you wanna achieve down here. This is the oasis. You're gonna look down and you're gonna see palm trees, a nice, cool, refreshing pool, and even some of those really good eucalyptus towels, okay? And what's a shame is that the villagers down here don't even know that there's an oasis here because they were too busy laughing and pointing at you while you were doing that thing. And in our society, we really value people who have done things, but we do not make it easy for people who are doing things. So this is why we goal set. Now, we are going to do this in 2 specific steps today. First and foremost, I want everybody to look down at your clipboards. And also, big financial literacy tip, if you are hosting a wonderful event like this, you have to tell the audience that they can't take the clipboard. So please, after the session, leave the clipboards. Do not steal the clipboards. They need to be used for the next session. But look at the worksheet you have in front of you. And today, we are going to make a list, okay? Look at this first sheet and write down a couple goals you have, but before you start, make sure they are all I statements in the present tense. So I'll give you an example. This past year, 2 years ago, every year we have a meeting with my team. And my manager is actually sitting right here. Everybody point and laugh. No, I'm just kidding. But I sat her down and I said, I want to have a New York Times bestselling book. And she looked at me and she said, Vivian, you know nobody believes in you more than I do. But you know, that's like kind of hard to do. Like I can't promise you that's going to happen. And so I said, okay, let's goal set. Let's figure out how we're gonna get there. So for your goals, instead of writing something like, I want to be XYZ, you're gonna say, I am a New York Times bestselling author. Instead of saying, I hope my business is able to grow, you're gonna write something as actionable as, I do 1,000 units in candle sales from my small business. Instead of saying, I would like to have saved up for a home, you're gonna write down, I save $100,000 for a down payment. You are going to write down an I statement in the present tense. I'm gonna give everybody a minute or 2 to do that together. But I would love to know while you guys are writing, yes, I'm asking for multitasking here, if anybody has some goals that they would like to share with the group. Don't all jump at once. Yes?
I am retiring by 50.
Ooh, that is a good one. Doesn't everybody else want to retire early too? Yes? I don't want to lean in, I want to lay down. Yes? Wow. I take a sabbatical every year? How long is a sabbatical?
3 months.
Oh, so you're only working 9 months out of the year. I like that a lot. I like that idea so much. I should write that down on my goal setting. Any other folks from this side of the room want to share?
I have the funds for a vacation.
Oh. Okay, where is our vacation home? I say our because I'm coming.
I wanted to be in New York because I like New York.
Ooh, yeah. I know. A little pied-à-terre, a little something something, so you can go and do all the fun things, walk the High Line, eat the good foods. I love that. I think there's someone else who wanted to? Yes. You are able to travel the world. I love that. Alrighty, okay. I see a couple folks still writing. Do we need an extra minute or 2? Yes, no? Everybody raise your clipboard if you're done. Okay, that's most folks. All right. What I hope you guys are getting from doing this and writing these I statements is that we are reframing these goals into the present. So instead of this big what if, maybe, it is already happened. This present tense means it has already happened. But we're not just here to write about our big, lofty goals on a piece of paper. That's not going to help us get there. So today, I am going to actually introduce to you guys the Your Rich BFF 4-square method, okay? So everybody take a long, hard look at this first sheet. Remember what your goals are, and then do me a favor and flip them over. You're gonna have to bear with me as I basically copy your worksheet onto this. Oh no, okay, that's fine. Okay. Do you guys remember all playing Foursquare in elementary school? Okay, I wasn't very good and frequently got hit in the face with this ball, so I didn't want to play anymore. But this is actually a really, really fun exercise for us to all do together. So what you're gonna do is in square one, we are going to choose one of the goals that you wrote on the back side of this piece of paper. And you're gonna write it at the top, and you are going to write down in the first square, what are some of the strengths that you have that are going to help make this dream a reality? And then this is the kicker that everybody asks me about. In that same box, we are also gonna write down what are some of the weaknesses that you have that are holding you back from accomplishing this goal and accomplishing it effectively. People understand the strengths piece, but they're like, why do you want me to write down the things that I hate most about myself? I don't want you to hate that. I want you to be able to tackle it head on. And by doing so, we are addressing something that you know is holding you back and not making it an issue anymore. Okay, and on to square number 2. We are going to write down what we need to accomplish this goal. So say you want to save up for that vacation home. Well, it would be helpful to have an additional source of income. It would be helpful to reduce some of the current discretionary spending in your budget. It would be helpful to open up a high yield savings account so your money could work harder for you and be earning you more interest, so you don't actually have to put as much away and your money can work hard for you too. So things like that, that's an example. We're gonna go into square 3. And I know you guys are all rushing to write this down. Don't worry, I'm calling on a victim once we finish talking through the 4 squares, and we will be doing it together. Square 3, I want you to write down who in your life can help you. Think about the Rolodex of all of your social connections. Maybe this is a mentor you have, maybe a family member, someone in the community, a manager, even just a friend. These are people that have tools, skills, resources, and access. This is a big one, access, to help you get to your goal. And then square number 4, I want you to think about this goal and what a realistic timeline to achieve it would be. Then I want you to break that timeline into half and into quarters. So simple math, if it's a goal that you believe will take 1 year to accomplish, you are going to set markers at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months, the full year. Okay, I previewed it. You guys know what's coming. There is someone in this audience that I know is dying to do this exercise with me. And we're gonna do it up on this whiteboard. I would love a volunteer. I am not above calling on someone. Oh, that hand shot up. Let's do it. Okay, everybody clap, because you know what? It is incredibly nerve-wracking to do this in front of an audience, and it's really important that we're doing this together. Alrighty.
I just have really bad ADD, so I couldn't. So this is great.
Okay, great, perfect.
It's fabulous.
Perfect. Okay. I want a blue pen for you,
Okay.
and we'll come on up here.
Okay.
What is your name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me and doing this today.
Yes.
I would love to know. Oh, Chelsea's got a mic. Amazing.
Oh, not a mic.
Okay, we are going to share what is your goal. I'll write it up.
So I'm just coming back to work, so my goal is to close out the year in Q3, Q4 with $400,000.
So I have $400,000 by, sorry, my handwriting is horrible,
Well, and I
by
can't spell, so this is
end
great.
of
Your thing.
year.
Yes.
That is a very concrete goal. So I want to talk through strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
Why did you make a face?
Because I don't have that many strengths.
That's not true. Don't say that. We don't say that. She has many strengths. They have just not been identified yet. Okay? So,
Oh, you want me to tell you my strengths?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
my
girl,
jo-
I'm not gonna guess
I know,
them.
like, okay, let's go. Maybe my joy is one. Maybe.
Okay, so we got S's, joy.
Yeah.
Okay.
My the way I can connect with people. I don't know
Okay.
how to.
This marker is not great.
Do you want to use blue?
No. I'm gonna be.
Okay.
That way you can help me write the. Okay. Connection.
Yes.
Wonderful. Talk to me about strengths that you have that are going to help you hit this goal. How do you feel like you are doing at your job?
Well, I'm just coming back to work, so not that great. But
Okay. But return to work, that's
yes.
a strength.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like your spending is?
Tragic. I mean, I spend everything I make. That's the
Okay.
problem. I don't save anything. My job is to shop, so that's also part of it.
Okay, so we're going to put spending as one of the weaknesses.
Yes.
What do you feel like are other things that are going to contribute to that?
For helping or weakness?
Both.
I don't want to blame like my ADD, but ADHD, but like that affects the way I work. I don't want to blame that, but I mean, that's a weakness. Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe it's,
so why don't we write that down?
yeah.
Spicy brain.
There we go. Neurospicy. I'm very neurospicy.
Okay, spicy brain. That's cool. But we're also going to talk about strengths to this number.
Yes.
How far are we here?
Well, we still have 300.
Okay, but a strength is that you are already a quarter of the way there.
Glory. It's great.
Okay, so we're going to put that there. Anything else that you want to share here?
For strengths?
Weaknesses too.
I mean, I guess, if I'm an influencer, that's a strength because
Yes.
of my numbers.
She sandbagged that.
Well,
Very few people have a job where they are entirely in control of their income. You can decide if you want to take on more work. You can
Yes,
decide.
yes,
So
yes.
that's the flex is also a strength. Okay? Great. You have so many more strengths than weaknesses, really. Look,
woo.
look, we're counting. I'm counting. Okay. Now let's talk about how you are going to get to where you want to be. What are some of the smaller steps we're going to need to take first?
I mean, respond to emails quickly
Okay?
so I don't miss out on collabs.
Email
Or just send them to my manager quicker than I do.
quickly. Okay. So let's actually think about that. Since we're already doing this, let's put the manager down
Yeah.
as someone who can help.
Yes. And then her assistant as well, maybe. I don't know if we add that.
Yeah, manager plus ASST.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So email quickly. What about how are we going to counteract this spending? Make a budget?
Yeah, probably should have one of those. I probably should have a budget.
Budget. Okay. What about how are we going to counteract the spicy brain?
Fam,
this-
I mean, I need to work out. There's a lot of things. I need to stop probably eating dairy and gluten, but
One thing I really like to do is called time blocking. I too have a really hard time and I'm easily distracted.
very much so.
Instead of making to-do lists, something that I recommend is on your Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, whatever you use, instead of saying, I have these 4 things I need to get done today, actually blocking off time to do them. So the small tasks, I'll assign 30 minutes. The bigger tasks, I'll assign anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes.
Right, so time blocking my daily emails.
Yes, so we'll add time blocking. And then, I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
It's always on Do Not Disturb already.
Well, girl,
it stays
girl,
on D&D.
It can't be next to you while you're working. And
Well, what about if that's how I work on my phone, like when I edit?
do you have a laptop?
Well, yeah, but I can't edit on my laptop. I
Okay,
don't know how to work.
so we're using the phone, but we stay on D&D.
Yeah, it literally right now, it's never not.
Okay.
Or
Okay,
Android users
great.
never know that I'm on D&D. I just don't respond.
Great, love that. That's tough. Okay, now, how are we going to get to this number? maybe we add a high yield savings account, because then your money that's sitting aside
Need
saving
that, yeah.
can earn more interest.
Yep, yeah, probably.
High yield savings account,
Mm-hmm.
okay? In terms of getting to this number faster, do you want this for a specific reason? Or is it just a savings goal?
Well, I'm coming off of a sabbatical. Like, I
Yeah.
took a mental health, didn't work
Yeah,
for
yeah.
5 years. So, like, I just know to live the life I want to live, I need, like, that number
Yeah.
to be comfortable. So,
Yeah.
no, it's just,
Have you thought about delaying some of this gratification and investing this money? Because it'll help you grow it.
well, I could do that. That would be great when I have it. Yeah, sure.
You don't need to have it to start investing.
Oh,
We can start investing now. It'll get you to this number faster.
okay.
Okay. So, what I always say is, if you have no idea how to start investing, is that what is like scaring you?
Well, yeah, it's a scary thing for me.
Okay.
I just kind of, I don't like look at my money. It's bad. I probably should do better with that. So yes, I need to
Yes,
be doing this.
okay,
I
so
just don't do that.
I will say a lot of people feel that way because we have literally been brainwashed into thinking that one, caring about money is bad and it makes us gold diggers, but also there's so much jargon around it. It can feel really overwhelming. And I know this because I've been there. I worked on Wall Street. And while I was in my early 20s, I couldn't save a dollar to save my life because I was busy out on the weekends, hanging from chandeliers, going on, like fun little dinner dates. And I was like, oh my God, where's my money going? I don't know.
Right.
This budgeting and having a strong savings account that's going to earn you interest and investing is going to help you get in a much better place to earn this number.
Fabulous.
Okay, so when it comes to investing, if you have no idea where to start, what we're going to do is find a robo-advisor that we're comfortable with. Just literally Google best robo-advisor 2024, okay? And how this works is you are going to take a quiz at this robo-advisor. This robo-advisor is going to ask you questions like, how much money do you have? How much money do you earn? How much do you spend in a year? When you would like to retire? What does your family picture look like? Do you have other income coming in? Where do you want to live? Where do you live? What's the cost of living in that area? And you'll be able to answer all of these questions.
Of course.
It's going to take those questions and be like, do, 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 and then spit out a diversified, risk-appropriate investment strategy and invest for you.
Oh, wow.
You can have a computer do it for you, the same way a computer does everything. ChatGPT wrote this speech for me. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't. Okay, I promise I did this myself. But we outsource so much of our life to technology. Investing does not have to be scary. You can literally get a computer to do it for you. Okay? So I don't want to hear that as an excuse anymore. It is not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not hard anymore. You just fill out a quiz about facts in your life that you should know the answers to. Like, you should know how much you make. You should know how much you have.
Right.
So we're going to do that. And then we need to talk about who can help you get there. So you said your manager and assistant.
Yes.
That is great.
Okay.
Because you already have someone to naturally lean on.
Yes.
If we want to address email quickly, something that I do with my manager is instead of me having to forward emails,
I know.
can you pop them?
Well, she wants her email in the thing, but that stresses me out.
Don't. I don't do that.
Oh,
Because I'm a control freak too.
yeah. See, I was like, no.
My manager's like literally sitting here laughing. Okay, so what you can do is you can set up POP. I have actually no idea what it stands for, but it's called email popping, email forwarding.
POP.
It's an email thing. People are nodding their heads, so I know this is real.
See these people. Mm-hmm.
Basically,
women here.
you can make an email
Men,
alias.
sorry.
You can make an email alias. I have an alias, so like my email is Vivian at, and then I have an email alias that's business at. And business at goes to me. It goes to my manager. It goes to her assistant. It goes to my assistant.
So then everybody will just get
Everybody will just get it.
Oh, fam, that's a game changer.
So just look
no
up
more forwarding.
Look up email forwarding POP.
Okay, and it will do it.
Yes,
and
it'll
I'll
do it
set
for you.
Up.
Yes,
Great.
you set it up.
Oh my gosh, my shoulders are down. I'm so excited.
I've already accomplished one of the tasks for her. Okay, so when it comes to the high yield savings account, again, just Google best high yield savings account
I'm just
2024.
gonna take a picture of this after.
Yeah, cool.
Great. Yeah.
I was gonna
take notes, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I have a financial partner that I talk about as like the high yield savings account that I personally use. It's SoFi, full transparency. At the end of the day, a high yield savings account is a high yield savings account, and it is better to have a high yield savings account than to not have one.
Okay.
I don't care which one you use, but you better have one.
We just need it.
Because the bank on the corner is giving you close to 0.46% in interest annually. You give the bank $100, at the end of the year you have $100.46. What are you supposed to buy with 46 cents?
Nothing.
If you have a high yield savings account, you'll probably have closer to $105 at the end of the year.
Okay.
Which, listen,
Better than 40 cents.
$5 is way better than 46 cents. And as you can imagine, the more money you have in there, and our girl has 100 grand, you're gonna have more interest at the end of the year.
So smart. See,
That's money.
yeah, money. Money.
That's
talks.
money for you. So
Money.
you have $100,000 at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
At the end, you do nothing. You have 105. 5 grand appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You want that.
Right.
You want that.
So
okay?
smart.
So high yield savings account, you're gonna do that. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. When it comes to budgeting, we're gonna use a jump off point. Okay? The jump off point is the 50-30-20. 50% of your take home pay goes towards needs. 30% goes towards wants. So we're talking drinks with girlfriends,
Dinner.
nails, like
Well, nails are
lashes.
free. I don't pay for nails. Thank you, Lord.
Oh, wow.
Being an influencer, don't have to pay for this.
Jealous.
Great.
I have to. But you do 50% towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards today you taking care of future Chelsea. That is that saving, that debt pay down, that investing.
20%.
Okay, that seems reasonable, right? The
Yeah.
smallest one is the least fun one. So, I want you guys to try the 50-30-20 for your budget, but we have manager and assistant. Are there any other folks in your life that you're like, this person is such a good example?
My spiritual advisor.
Spiritual advisor. This is certainly something that you could talk to them about.
Well, yeah. I mean, they pretty much. It's all my things right there. That's finance. That's everything in my
Perfect.
spiritual
We
advisor.
love that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in your family, your friend group that you're like, this is someone that I feel really comfortable talking about money?
So, I guess my best friend.
Yeah. Love that, because let me tell you, when we don't talk about money, we are left behind. This is the New Yorker in me.
I'm from Philly.
Anytime
scared.
I go to somebody's apartment, I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. how much is this per month? It's such a New Yorker thing because the rent is so high. And it's such a joke, but that is such an easy foray into talking about money, and nobody thinks it's weird. Nobody thinks it's weird. Listen, don't go up to your best friend and be like, show me a pay stub. Like, that's not gonna play out the way you want it to play, but talk about how much you're spending. Talk about, hey, that vacation to Mykonos looked awesome. It's, how can my friends afford this vacation season right now? How did you afford that? Did you have a credit card that has great rewards points? Did you have, miles saved up? Did you have, did your mom pay for it? That helps you set realistic benchmarks and expectations with your money, because for a really long time in my early 20s, there was this girl that I was so jealous of. And I was like, how does she make so much more money than me? Her parents were paying her rent.
Oh, that'll do it.
She was just saving an extra $2,000 every single month that I did not have, and I was never going to have because my parents couldn't help me do that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. We're all on different places in life,
yes,
but
yes.
you need to know that.
Right,
So
right.
you don't set an unrealistic benchmark against her.
Right.
So talk to all these people, have them do them with you, some of these activities together. When you open up a high yield savings account, tell your bestie to do that too.
Yes.
Because then,
Yeah, and we do that.
Good.
I mean, I don't have this, but we will.
good, okay? Now, so you said you want to do this by end of year.
Yes.
Okay.
Woo.
So we have 6 months.
Yes.
Okay? So 6.
I think it's doable.
6 months. Mm-hmm. And you have, so we'll check in at, we can break the rules here. Let's check in at 2 months. We'll check in at 4 months
Okay.
and 6.
Okay.
So the first couple things that you should get accomplished are the ones that we ticked off very quickly.
Yes.
You want those done by 2 months. Then at 4 months, you are going to start to really see the fruits of your labor of the maximizing those emails and trying to start getting those deals flowing, right? That's when, because we all know there's other creators in this room, there's folks in the business, you do some work, that's net 90, net 60, at best net 30. So you're not seeing that money as soon as you're done. Like, you gotta wait for that money, and hopefully by then you're gonna start seeing some of the fruits of your labor. But this whole time, you're putting all this money in the high yield savings account, and you're going and going and going. And that number should ideally get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you're setting that aside, you're still earning interest.
How much am I putting in this every?
So you are putting all of the money that you currently have saved, that is at a regular bank account, into this.
Okay.
You're gonna keep what you need to pay your bills in your checking account.
Fabulous.
And then when you start to make more money, if you don't need that money to pay your bills, you're putting it in here. Because you wanna be earning as much interest as humanly possible. Because that's gonna help get you to your
The
goal.
more in there, the more I will earn.
Correct, correct. And so once you get there, that'll eventually be like main tasks. Man, my handwriting gets worse. Main tasks here.
Okay.
This is like really the true like kind of check-in point.
2-month mark.
Yep. This is when you're gonna start seeing the fruits of your labor is 4. But once you get to 6, you're going to assess against this number
Right.
how much you've accomplished. And listen, this number will largely be based on how much work you are going to do and how much income you have coming in. But after this, you will be able to assess and say, hey, maybe I'm at 400. That's amazing. You've accomplished the goal.
Yes.
You can start a new goal. Maybe you're only at 300, but that's still 200 grand more than you had when we started this.
Right.
And then you actually know, hey, it took me 6 months to get to 300. It's going to take me another 2 to 3 to get to the 400 goal that I wanted.
Yes.
And it helps you recalibrate.
It's the clarity of it all too.
Correct. It becomes a plan instead of just
Four
a dream.
square. It's
Four
great.
square.
Wow, things are going well. Okay, am I done up here?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me
Sorry,
just take a picture. Thank you for doing all the writing, because
Of course, of course. Alrighty, I'm glad we all got to see Foursquare in action. Listen, if I'm in the photo. Anytime a camera's on me, I'm like. But before I let you go into the Q&A section where I answer some of your burning finance questions, I do want us to talk about one more financial equation that we all need to have in our lives because it is so important, and it is one of my favorite exercises to do with groups. We are going to calculate something called the I have enough number. Okay, so what I want everyone to do is just close your eyes for a second. You all look very rested, very peaceful right now. And imagine your perfect year. Your eyes aren't closed. I can still see. My eyes aren't closed. I'm just kidding. Imagine your perfect year. Where do you live? Who is with you in that perfect scenario? Maybe a partner, maybe kids, maybe a pet. What kind of trips are you going on? Are you going on trips? Maybe you don't like to travel. I don't know anybody who doesn't like to travel, but like, just in case. What kind of car do you drive? What are you eating? What does your year look like? Okay? Now, everybody, open your eyes and think, what would that year cost me? Stop laughing, it's not that big of a number. Somebody back there had a green Lambo and a yacht. But remember in high school when our teachers all told us that you won't have a calculator in your pocket? Take out that calculator in your pocket right now, okay? And then I want you to take the number that you calculated that year, costing, and divide it by 0.04. For all of my friends who were not math majors, who do not like math, the number you get should actually be bigger, not smaller than the first number. And while you guys do that, I'm gonna explain why we're dividing by 0.04. So the reason we're dividing by that number is because 0.04 represents 4%. And 4% is an incredibly conservative investment return. Like I mentioned, those high yield savings accounts right now are paying anywhere between 4.5% to 5.5% right now. So you can definitely get 4% on your investments. But the number you currently have on your calculator is what you would need to have invested to fully kick over your desk and say, I have enough, I'm not working anymore. Some of y'all are gasping. This is an interesting sign. I do need some brave volunteers, though, to share what their I have enough number is. 2.5 million. Okay, that is a great I have enough number. Any others? $200,000. Oh my gosh. Do you feel like that's a doable number for you? Okay. Yes. 5 million. 25. Girl, how you living? How many houses did we have? No, I'm just kidding. 6 million, spot 25. Okay, 6.25 million.
16,117,500.
What was the calculus on that? That's an incredibly niche number. Okay. But as you can see, there is a very, very broad spectrum of these numbers. And what I love so much about this is that it often, maybe not for our friend back there, but often it reminds us that our I have enough numbers are not as far-fetched as we think, okay? I think it helps us level set of what we would need to slowly downshift, but also really prioritize the joy in our lives. I personally do this I have enough calculation every year or so, and I have a bare bones one where it's like, oh, I can stop working for money, I'm gonna start giving back, I will do philanthropic work and not worry about what it pays. Then there's this middle bar, which I'm like, okay, I can fully quit, I'm living good, but again, I don't have a yacht and I'm not driving a green Lambo. And then there's this number. This is called the I live in Bora Bora, you will never hear from me again number. And we are allowed to have all three, and it really helps you visualize your money and build a stronger relationship so that you realize that money is not good or bad. It's a tool, and it is a tool that'll help you get to where you want to be in your life. No, you can clap now. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I believe, somebody tell me, okay, great. We have 10 minutes left for Q&A. So I am here to answer your burning financial questions. Our friends at Marshall's have been so kind to invite me here. My time is yours. Please ask, and don't be shy. There's no such thing as a bad question. I'm here to answer them. Oh, wow, okay. I didn't realize so many hands would go up so quickly.
Do you have a budget tool or an app that you sort of swear by?
Yeah, I think there's a couple really great ones out there. You Need a Budget. YNAB is great. If you want a simpler budgeting strategy, I think 50-30-20 is probably the one that I most often really use, because I'm not someone who's going to want to go back and check an app, or sometimes I feel like the apps get disconnected with your bank account and then you're like, I'm not going to use this. The best budgeting strategy is the one that you'll actually use. And for me, it was always just eyeballing, hey, am I close to these numbers? And do I feel like this leaves me enough money to take care of my future?
Okay, so if I'm just giving you a scenario.
Okay.
If you own a home,
Yeah?
say it's worth $500,000.
Yep.
And you make enough and you're comfortable. Do you pay off your home because you can, or do you invest the money? Like, where do you stand on paying off your home and just being debt free, or investing?
What a great question. Can I ask, what's your mortgage rate?
For us in the back?
What? Oh, sorry. Sorry. She asked if her friend in a random scenario had a home that was a $500,000 home, and she is making good money, feeling confident in her finances. Should she try to pay off that mortgage faster, or take additional money she has and start investing it in the market? And my question to you would be, what is your mortgage rate?
So I would say, because I know that's always the angle, like what is the mortgage versus how much you can get in investing. Let's just say your mortgage is 4%.
4%? I would slow roll that mortgage and I would start investing in the market. This is the rule. It's called the rule of 7. Any debt above 7% is considered high interest rate debt. Anything below is lower interest rate debt. Anything above, you're unlikely to be able to earn more in the market, so you're going to want to pay off. So if you have credit card debt, get that paid off, because that's probably 20 to 30% APR. Get that paid off before you start investing. However, with a home that has a mortgage rate, you said 4%, you can slow roll that and start investing while you're still, making the monthly payment, but you don't have to contribute extra and start trying to pay off that principal faster, because you would actually have less by doing so than investing that. 7 is the benchmark. Yes.
What do you do?
Sorry, into the mic, please.
Sorry. What do you do when you have a set income each month, but you have high debt?
Yeah.
And you're trying to pay your debt off quickly, especially since your family is growing, but you're not able to because you still have to live for that month.
Yeah, so there are 2 really great options for debt, that is especially credit card debt. First and foremost, a personal loan. So credit card debt is some of the scariest and growiest because it has an interest rate of somewhere between 20 to 30% usually. With a personal loan, you're probably gonna see an interest rate of anywhere between 7 to 15%. So what you're gonna do is you go to a bank and you say, hey, I would like a personal loan. You'll put in an application. Ideally, you'd be approved. They're then going to give you a lump sum of money at that interest rate of 7 to 15%. You're going to use it to pay off your credit card debt, and then you'll pay back the personal loan instead. And this is going to help you save on interest because you will pay down your debt faster, and it won't be building and snowballing as quickly because the interest rate is lower. Alternatively, another great strategy is if you don't have that much credit card debt, you can use something called a balance transfer card. And what you do is you essentially roll this credit card debt onto a new credit card, and these balance transfer cards have 12 to 18 month, essentially what I call grace periods, and you'll pay a small fee to do this, but you will have 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. So every dollar you're paying towards that debt is just crushing that debt. It's not going towards interest. The thing to keep in mind of though, you have to be done in 12 to 18 months. Because if you don't finish paying off your debt in that time, that interest rate is going to skyrocket back up to that 20 to 30% number, and you'll be right back where you were having had paid that fee. Only do that if you know you can pay it off in 12 to 18 months. Personal loans, you can take a little bit longer if you need, if you have a larger sum, but you also get to save on interest.
Thank you. May I ask a follow-up to that? What happens if you don't have a typical income, like you're self-employed? So a bank won't necessarily approve you for that personal loan or the credit card. Does that still work for you, or you have to do something different?
Yeah, I think there are certainly different strategies. One thing you can actually do is work with a debt counselor, and they'll call your credit card company and work with them to negotiate down the interest rate and potentially get you a couple waivers. That said, they do make you close those credit cards down, and it puts you in a pretty austere credit environment. But if that's kind of where you're at, you're not going to be able to get a personal loan or a balance transfer card, it is another solution.
Thank you.
Of course. Yes.
I own my own business, so I know that managing personal finances is a lot different than owning business finances. So I was wondering if you had any apps or platforms that you use to help manage business finances. I know you have your own business on top of managing your personal finances and how you pay yourself.
Do you mind me asking what kind of business?
Yes, I am a brand and graphic designer.
Ooh, I love that. So I would say some of the most common resources are QuickBooks, just because it allows you to invoice very quickly. In terms of managing your business finances, it really does depend on what works for you. If you have someone who helps you with that, maybe you don't necessarily need it. The other thing I really encourage you to do is get a business-specific credit card. I don't know if you already have one, but there are some out there right now that are really, really key to what you might be doing. I know there is a credit card out there that actually allows you to rotate the categories that you get cash back on. So in your case, if you are a brand and graphic designer, like you're probably spending a lot of money on Canva, Adobe. You're spending all that money. You are allowed to actually say, hey, I want 5% cash back on software. And then next month you can change it and be like, well, I already bought the software for the year. Now I want it to go to another category, and you can rotate in and out, and that way you're able to make the most of that money that you're already spending.
Great, thank you.
Of course. Rana, let's, time-wise?
5 more minutes.
Okay, great. So we have time. Yes, please.
Hi, I don't know if everyone.
Oh, here. she's a runner, she a track star. Oh, sorry. I do my own backup vocals too.
Thank you for this presentation.
Of course.
My question is, I'm actually halfway through my MBA program right now.
Woo!
So thank you. Thank you. I am approaching the next phase of asking for the salary that I feel like I should be stepping into. So I wanted to ask you if you have any advice on how to have the talk.
Oh, yes.
When someone asks,
Oh,
what are you
yes.
expecting for this role? How to actually roll that out without playing yourself, your cards too low.
Yeah, I'd be curious, when you are having this conversation, is it for a job that you already have, or is it for something that you are about to get an offer for?
About to get an offer for.
Okay, so this is what you do. When you get a job offer and they call you and they're like, oh my God, like, we'd love for you to join the team, this is what you're getting. You say, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited. I would love to see this offer on paper. You get it in paper, they email it to you in like some crazy DocuSign situation. You're gonna look at it, and then you are gonna make notes about what you want. So say you're like, okay, this is a good starting negotiation point. You're gonna ask for 10% more from jump. And let's not all just think about money, because there are other things that money cannot buy. Do you want a flexible working arrangement, a hybrid environment? Is there something that you're like, hey, I have a kid. I need to make sure that every single Friday I'm able to leave by 4 p.m. so I can take them to soccer practice or swim lessons or whatever. Like, these are things that you need to think about. If it's a company that you really believe in, you're like, hey, can we also talk about stock options, RSUs, whatever. Think about all the things you can ask for. Is there a signing bonus that you'd want? Is there anything else? Then you are going to call back that person from likely their people or HR department and say, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am so excited to start. It was such a pleasure meeting XYZ, Mike, Jeremy, and Patricia from my team. And I'd love to see if there's any flexibility on this offer, as my experience and skills would be commensurate with a salary of that number. And then, this is the real key. Stop talking. Stop talking. When my first year, my first year at my second job, I went in for this negotiation and I said, I believe I'm worth whatever. And then I'm like, but if not, that's okay. And then I panicked because I was like, why did I say that? Like, it's not okay. I want that raise. Just stop talking. Let the dead air fill. They will say this. They're not going to tell you yes or no on the phone. They're going to say, I'm going to need to check with the hiring manager as well as, the HR team. And you're going to say, of course, no problem. They're going to hang up on you. They'll call you back. Either they're going to come back and say, unfortunately, it can't happen, which you're no worse off than you were before. They're going to come back and say, yes, we'll grant you that, which awesome. Or they're going to come back, most likely, and say, we can't do that, but we can do X, Y, Z. And you end up somewhere in the middle. That's like the 75% chance of things happening. If you end up in that 75% bracket or that weird anomaly where they do say yes, you are going to be so much better off than where you started. And the risk of them coming back and being like, for asking, you're not getting the job anymore, is like almost zero. And if they do that, you didn't want to work there anyway. So always make sure anytime anybody gets a job offer, you are negotiating it from jump. Of course.
So my question is, example, I'm gonna give you a scenario as well. If you have
your friend's scenario.
Yeah, friends.
Yeah.
Say if you have $500,000 just sitting in your business account, and you're the only employee, so you pay yourself monthly. What would you do with that money that's just sitting there?
Yeah. So one thing I would do is consider opening up a money market account with your banking institution that does your business banking. A money market account works similarly to how a high yield savings account would work for your personal life. You get a higher interest rate for essentially lending the bank your money. And why this is important for your business account is because, y'all, I didn't realize this when I started my business. When you work for yourself, you gotta pay taxes 4 times a year. And Uncle Sam always comes to collect. So what's great about this is if you have a lot of cash, that can actually earn you money while it is waiting to be paid out to the government. And then once you actually make those payments, that interest is yours to keep. And so you get to have your money, because that's a large sum of money, work really hard for you while being paid out eventually. And that way, when you're setting it aside, you're not thinking about it, you're not spending it, and it's safe from yourself. Of course. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I think we are out of time for Q&A. I will head over to the cafe to chill, grab a drink, and we can have a couple chats for my folks who I didn't get to answer. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining me, for goal setting with me, and continuing on your journey of getting the good stuff in your life. I'm so grateful for Marshalls for having me here, and so grateful that I got to spend this Saturday with you.